Welcome back to Caffeine Confessionals. Sounds good to say. Welcome back to Caffeine Confessionals. My name is Allan Aguirre. I'm joined by my lovely co-host. We have the Canadian Miss Nikki Sin.
Hello, hello, hello. I haven't done that in so long.
And the handsome Southern Luke Muncie.
What's up, guys? It feels like a script, but it's my natural. Yeah.
Man, we are here to talk about the Challenge All-Star Season 3. We haven't had a lot of challenge content coming our way, and now we're about to get a bunch. And we are getting one of the best casts I think the Challenge has ever had in this All-Star season. I mean, so far the All-Star seasons they've just been amazing. They've been a breath of fresh air. We get good competition, good personalities, good music. How are you guys feeling about it?
I'm excited. I was expecting to do the spies, lies, allies with my head, but no, we're past that. We're on All Stars 3, and I'm pumped. This cast is amazing.
I'm so excited about this because, when I first watched, the first season, I wasn't sure what to expect. I was like, am I gonna like this? But I like it so much more than the main. And this cast is nuts.
I think genuinely we might have the strongest male cast ever. I do think the female cast, it's not necessarily dominant, but it's pretty good across the board. There's no A tier competitor, but there's a lot of people who are B to B plus players, and it's just consistent across the board. In this video, we're gonna break down the entire cast, and we're gonna go female to male. We're gonna do it in order. What I did was I'd asked Nikki and Luke to rank who their favorite cast, who they're most excited to see from most to least. I did it myself, and we took an average. And so we're going to go through this cast list from who we're most excited to see to who we're least excited to see. And this doesn't mean we don't like a certain person, because there are certain competitors we've seen 3 seasons in a row for now All-Stars. I am a massive Kendall fan. I love her as a human being. I've seen Kendall compete 3 seasons in a row now. I'm not as excited to see her as someone who I haven't seen in 15 or 20 years. You put a new toy in front of me, that's where my eyes are going to go.
Just call Kendall a toy.
No?
I'm just kidding.
No. It's part of the family at this point.
True.
Love it. I missed this.
We're off to a hot start here, people. So we're going to go through the female. Actually, before we do that, I'm just going to name off the whole cast for people who just don't even know who the cast is, so you can figure it out. Because there's some certain people who are like, oh, hey, there's an All-Star season. Here's the cast. Nia Moore, Jonna Mannion, Jemmye Carroll, Veronica Portillo, Sylvia Elsrode, Tina Barta, Kayla C as Bird, Kellyanne Judd, Kendall Shepard, Cynthia Roberts, Roni Martin, Melinda Collins, Darrell Taylor, Yes Duffy, Wes Bergman, Brad Fiorenza, Nehemiah Clark, Idris Virgo, that's not right, Mark Long, Jordan Wisely, Tyler Duckworth, Cyrus Yarbrough, MJ Garrett, Derek Kozinski, and Latarian Wallace.
That was funny. Okay.
That was the most unnecessary story of all time. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. But let's get into this female cast. And so the funniest thing is, all of our rankings on everyone was basically different, except for one person. We all had the same female competitor as the person we're most excited to see. And that is Miss Nia Moore from The Real World Portland. She competed on 2 seasons, Free Agents and X's 2. We haven't seen her since her DQ on X's 2, where she crossed the line with Jordan, and then she was apparently banned from the challenge. But she's not banned from All Stars apparently, and Nia is back. Hurricane Nia.
I'm excited for her to have some sort of redemption because, she did something that wasn't great, obviously, but we've had lots of challengers do things that aren't great, and they're back on the next season. So I'm excited to see her as a more grown-up individual, someone who seems to still be in stellar shape, and someone who's going to bring some drama, because she might still be elevated in just who she is as a person, but she's still got that fiery, just passion about her.
I always thought she was a good competitor, on the 2 seasons that she did, aside from drinking Zach's sweat for I don't know, $8 or whatever it was. But
I joked that she did it for $80 American dollars. She did it for less. She actually did it for $60 American dollars. I was like, no, it couldn't have been that. I went to go fact check it, and yeah, so she drank sweat for $60 American dollars. Imagine what she'll do for $1 million.
Imagine what
you did
she'd do for
mention,
Canadian money.
yeah, you did mention she's a good competitor. She is online because she played D1 collegiate volleyball. College athlete. They list her online as 6'2". I think she's probably closer just to 6 foot flat, but oh my God, you have a 6 foot tall woman who's a real athlete on the challenge. She runs well. She has a good memorization skills. Remember, she did a little bit of, she knows how to talk her way out of certain things. She is highly intelligent. She is a massive threat in this game. The problem is she gets herself into drama and chaos. If she just stayed quiet, nobody wants to face a 6 foot tall woman in elimination. But that's not Nia though. That's why she's Hurricane Nia for a reason. And good Lord, I did not ever imagine seeing her on a challenge again.
Same, but I'm so excited.
I really want to see how she's going to interact with this cast. Because you haven't really seen her, like, I've only ever really seen her interact with a few of the, like, all-star type, and more of, like, the newer crop of contestants.
So, we know that, like, on X's 2, she was in the same room with Wes, and she was really cool with that side of the house, even though she was partnered with Leroy. And the banana side, she was actually cool with Avery, Wes, those type of people. There's also the Jordan element, where since their season, since X's 2, they've actually become really good friends. They kind of seem, I don't know, maybe a little physical in like in a mutual they're trying to hook up. I can't say that word.
Reciprocity. It's they're gonna.
Okay, way to flex on me, Luke.
The two writers, neither of us said
it. Yeah, I want to see them hook up personally because that would just be the craziest reality TV storyline ever. And I do think the most interesting thing about Nia is that she either has the opportunity to show that she's growing as a person, or we as people are going to watch her like a ticking time bomb. Because like either she's grown up or we're waiting for the moment that she blows up and becomes Hurricane Nia again, which kind of seems like it's playing on the human element a bit. That sounds a bit messed up, but that's reality TV. And I'm going to be engaged. I'm going to be watching the entire time. It's like those gifts where you're just waiting for something to explode.
Should we go on Hurricane Watch? Like a little start, like going
We're at level 1.
Yeah.
Just have a little thing on the side all season. Like what Hurricane Watch are we on?
I feel like her and Kayla are not going to get along.
Ooh.
I just.
Ooh.
I feel the same. So there you have it.
I have no clue. I'm not even gonna open. I'm not emotionally ready to open that door. But that actually transitioned to us. The person we have ranked second as the person we're most excited to see. So Nikki ranked this person 7th, Luke 4th, and myself 2nd. As Miss Kayla C is recently married, and this is the first time we're seeing Kayla on the challenge since Total Madness, where she broke up with her boyfriend, had a entanglement with someone, has gotten married, and she's someone that a lot of people are very upset is on the season because Kayla is only like 28, 29 years old, which is, not really an OG. I mean, she's still definitely more of a younger player.
Yeah, people were so mad, but I was so happy. Do I think she's OG? No, but people got so hung up from Mark Long saying this is the OG challenge. And at its base, yeah, it kind of is, but it's all-stars. Kayla, as an all-star, I don't know. Like, it depends how you define all-star, but she has lots of memorable moments, and you can't take that from her. I'm so excited to see her.
Before any Kayla stans get at me about what placement I gave her, my rationale here is that I'm blaming it all on Sam, her husband. Here's why. You'll notice a lot of the UK competitors have a very specific, more aesthetic physical routine. Like they're more in for the workouts to, get paid as a fitness expert or a fitness instructor, or just have their own athletic leisure line or something like that. Look at Joss. Joss is a great competitor, but it seems like a lot more for Instagram or to just be a fitness influencer. So I feel like her work, because I follow Kayla on Instagram and I've seen her be oh, going to the gym with Sam. That was my rationale there. Also, she got whooped like her rookie season. So
As a competitor, Kayla has a good elimination record. I do think she has very good political game as well in terms of she's willing to make big moves and high leverage plays. Like that purging of Cara Maria that she got in trouble for or like got in hot water for on Dirty 30. That's a game winning move. She was also willing to be one of the votes that put in bananas on Vendetta. She is really good at playing the game that way. Social game though, Kayla is always in the minority somehow. She gets voted into elimination a lot. I don't know how she'll blend in. I mean, people will look at her going into this game as like the youngest girl in the house, and it's like, all right, well, let's go for that person because they look the most like lively and spry.
I agree. However, I like when thinking about this cast, I think it's going to be so different because Jemmye is obviously Kayla's friend, and Jemmye meshes so well with these old school OG people. Like they just love her. That's my daughter. Like we'll do anything for her. She's a good mediator. And then Kayla and Wes have been like really good friends the past several years, and Wes is in the game. He is a great social player. And like I feel like she's gonna have a little bit of a shield this go around where she's not just like in the Holy Trinity or having sex with Corey and peeing the bed. And that's not me like trying to hate on her. I'm just saying like she had those things working against her. She's a married woman now. I'm not sure if she was when this filmed. I don't guess so. But still, she was in a committed relationship. She's put all that craziness behind her. And she's not with a bunch of like young people. She's with some older people. Her mind's probably in the game. She doesn't seem like she likes the challenge. So I feel like she's here to win.
with Wes comes Sylvia.
Oh, true. True.
And she's close with Sylvia from Vendettas. They're in that Dolphin Alliance or whatever it is. She's close with Jemmye. And, you know, she's done Challenge Mania with Derek and stuff like that. And her and Jordan actually had a really good relationship. They were teasing at them on Dirty 30 before Jordan, you know, really got solid with Tori. That could be interesting. I mean, Jordan is someone who likes strong players, and I think he thinks Kayla's a strong player at least. So that could help her. I mean, what this game sometimes comes down to is, do they want to run a final with you? And Kayla looks like someone people want to run a final with. Yeah, she's a good player. She's a pretty good player, and I'm excited to see her because, I mean, Kayla's not boring most of the time. I mean, she always mixes it up.
I'm excited to see her compete as a woman in a more serious, like adult committed relationship. Not to like, you know, say anything about her and Mikey, but you know, they had a lot of like Twitter drama, like her and Melissa got into it about her and Mikey, and that's a whole thing. And to me, that just feels like a very like early 20s relationship. It's just like how I was so excited to see Nani and Casey be like together, and so Nani could be focused.
Yeah, I do like her in the Birdman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bear did something good because she went from the bear to a bird. So
I'm just imagining. I'm sorry, Mikey P was so lame. I could just imagine him like on like Kayla's wedding day. It's like I was your Magic Johnson, he was your Larry Bird, and so I can just imagine him doing like a lame rap like that.
You mean you don't have to imagine it. Every rap he's done is lame.
Just Google, yeah.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
Our third female, the female we're third most excited to see is Miss Veronica Portillo from Road Rules Semester at Sea, 3-time challenge champion. She's done 11 seasons, 4-time finalist, one of the original queens of the challenge. Like Veronica did 7 of 8 seasons back in the day when that was unheard of. For like a long time, Veronica was like the biggest staple of the challenge. I mean, without her, I don't know if the show exists today because she was such a big character. Nikki had her ranked 4th. Luke had her ranked 2nd. I had her ranked 8th of who we were most excited to see. I was surprised I put her 8 as well. I'm going to be honest now that I'm reading this back.
I'm surprised I put her 2nd, actually, now that you just said that. But you saying your intro for her makes sense. Veronica, when I saw the cast list, it seemed like Veronica was on the past 2 seasons of All Stars, and she wasn't. So I had to really just reconsider in my head what was going on. But even her last 2 showings on the main show, I'm not going to say they were great, but they were interesting. And like she at her core is a mean girl. And I don't think that means she's a bad person, but she just has that personality of like, I'm not going to mess around with stupid stuff. And I do think she has it in her to be a good competitor with this grouping of people as far as the women's side goes. And like Allan said, like the challenge is kind of built off, the early seasons, Veronica. So I'm pumped to see her.
Yeah, I'm like hyped to see her give her her opinion on this cast. Do you know what I mean? Like, wow, I Julia Fox it. Do you know what I mean? That was for you,
Uncut
Allan.
Gems.
Uncut Gems. All stars. The challenge. Okay. I'm excited to see her reads on different people, because I get really excited when I see Jemmye just clocking people left and right. And so I'm excited to see, especially with how long it's been since we've got to have her on our screens. Wasn't CT her last partner?
Yeah, a few years ago.
Yeah, that wasn't good for either of them.
I have Veronica ranked 8th, and here's the thing. I think Veronica is an amazing competitor. I think she has I think she's so important to the show. And when you think of she's the person you want on an all-star season. She's the return you want because she is a mega star of this franchise. My problem is the last few times I've seen her on the show, I thought she was just coming to pick up a paycheck. I don't think she enjoyed being there. And part of that was the cast she was with, but I don't know if she still wants to really compete like that anymore. She has that in her. I mean, no disrespect, because it's a good appearance check. Just pick it up. You deserve it. You deserve that money. But I don't know if that OG Veronica is still there. I do like that she's going to be back with Tina, one of her original Mean Girls from back in the day. She does have Jemmye, who she's extremely close with. And I think that on Dirty 30, you saw in short bursts that Veronica is really willing to play the political game, strategic game if she gets in power. The problem is you got to win those challenges to be in power.
And since you just mentioned Tina and Jemmye again, I'm going to intersect for a second or interject. We know, or maybe I'm being biased here, but I know that what makes the challenge for me are the female competitors. Pretty much they dominate the season. You're oh, okay, cool. The men are interesting, whatever. But you just listed several women, not to mention even Kayla and Nia, who they give good confessionals. It's not going to be dry where if two people go, there's the chance that we have horrible confessionals. There are 5, 6, 7 women who are funny and interesting and catty. So she's just perfect for that.
Yeah, and they're not going to be corny like any Big Brother confessional. Which
let's go.
They're one step away from a radio show soundboard. Wah wah.
You know what though? I do have some information. They're bringing on Casey Clark just to explain the rules of the daily challenge, so she could fill her role just like she does on the main seasons. No confessionals other than that, just to explain the rules of the daily challenge.
So no difference.
Okay. Going from IKEA furniture to IKEA audio equipment. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super pumped to see Veronica. I do have this worry though that the challenge itself has kind of changed a bit over the years, where she was a really good competitor back in the day, but it's become so athletic, and Veronica's only 5 foot tall, and it's just people see her as someone they could just run over in a physical elimination, and that's not something she had to deal with back in the day because she could just socially maneuver her way. But nowadays, it's perceived level of strength, and I'm kind of afraid for her on that when it comes to that.
But money might be more of a motivator this time, because now she's not competing for a Bongo Jeans gift set and a T-Mobile sidekick,
Yeah, I'm worried because the males play a big part on the female game, and if they see Veronica is weak, I don't want that to happen, but it's part of the game. The person we're 4th most excited to see, I'm going to call her a 2-time champion. We have Miss Jonna Mannion, winner of Challenge All-Star Season 2, first place finisher of Challenge All-Star Season 1. Nikki had her ranked 2nd, Luke had her ranked 6th, I had her ranked 7th. So really, just none of us ranked her low. But I love Jonna. She's one of my favorite competitors ever. She just has a likable quality to her, and she's really just shown a confidence in these newer seasons, these all-star seasons that we didn't see back in the day. It's a new person. It's a great competitor. It's a great person. I love it.
Yeah, and she's ranked, I don't think 6 is low, but she's ranked that low for me simply because, she won last season and she was the top female competitor on season 1. I'm excited to see her come back. Has it been a fluke? Is she a great competitor? What is it? I don't think it's a fluke, But also, I like shows where the winner's not always the same person. So I'm hoping she doesn't like pull a three-peat, which I feel like would be impossible. But
I'm always excited to see her because I feel like, you know, when she first started on MTV, when she was on Real World Cancun, she's always had these storylines that I find to be like really raw and like relatable, rather than just like people whose storylines are like, I have a Twitter beef with this person, you know, like I had to fake a breakup for Us Weekly, like crap like that. I like, you know, she went through an entire season where she was like homeless. She had like, she dated Zach. You know what? I'm not going to judge her on that choice. Just gonna
yes, you
be
are.
disappointed. I'm just gonna be disappointed. I'm not gonna vocally judge her, but I just find her to be like a really relatable contestant on the show, and it's nice to see like real people on the challenge again, because that's where it started.
I really don't have much to add. I mean, Johnny's just awesome. I like her whenever she's on my TV screen. Uh, as a competitor, her biggest strength is that she has no major weaknesses. She's really willing to do heights competition. She's can run, she can swim, she can do everything. She's never going to come in last place in a daily challenge, and that's like the big thing where these seasons have often had the last place finisher go into elimination. Johnny is never in that situation, and so she could use her social game to get herself far. And in a final itself, like having that critical weakness is what brings you down. I will say, I think we have to talk about it. Her final performance last season actually wasn't that stellar. She pulled it out in the end, but the overall final, a little weird.
Yeah. And I honestly think this season will kind of be the same, not with her not having the stellar performance, but I think she'll make it to the end because people still underestimate her. And I don't get it necessarily, but even weeks before the final, people were like, you know, we've got to get rid of Janelle, we've got to get rid of Jody. It was never like, we got to get rid of Jonna. Like she was just out of the question. And she won.
How back to back in terms of like time frame was filming of seasons 1 and 2? I know Allan will know this.
I actually don't, but she got in much better shape, and she's in much better shape now.
Okay.
So that's been very impressive. She looks gorgeous. My God. Mm-hmm. John A. Slay all day, baby. I love her, bro.
Keeping that audio clip for my own personal life.
So the next two people, we actually have a tie for 5th. And the way I did it was that if 2 of us had the person ranked lower, that person came in 5th, the other person came in 6th. Person we're 5th most excited to see, Sylvia else Rode from Real World Skeletons, Chicago 2 or 3 or whatever that was. Nikki had her ranked 5th. Luke had her ranked 8th. I had her ranked 6th. So across the board, we're all pretty excited to see Sylvia. None of us had her at the top, but we all want to see her on this next season. She is a career 5-1 in eliminations and was like 15 seconds away from winning the final Reckoning final. Might have won it, but that wasn't maybe the best television moment. And we got a great TV moment out of it. The last time we saw her compete, she put up a hell of a season with Joss. And they were the only team that was in the house the entire game, never hit redemption, went to the final, came in 2nd. Sylvia is just one of the most underrated players ever, and it's exciting to see her on this season.
Underrated is a good word because I put her 8th. I love Sylvia. I'm excited to see her, but like she's not the name that stands out. And I'm like, oh yeah. And she has all these accolades, as Allan just mentioned, but I don't know. I felt like people were more upset about Kayla being on the cast than Sylvia. And I think Kayla has a bigger name. I don't know. I'm interested to see how Sylvia does, because one thing about Sylvia, I think she's mature. Take out some headbutts, take out some comments, whatever. I think Sylvia is mature. And I think she's another competitor that people just underestimate because she doesn't have like one particular body type, which by the way does not equate to greatness. And I really am hoping that she's going to just kind of like fly under the radar, make some good connections with some of the older people, her people like Kayla, maybe like getting good with Jemmye, and that we're going to see a good performance from her.
Yeah, Sylvia is another one of those competitors that has, you know, taken a break from the challenge to pursue, you know, other life goals. She's become a real estate agent, and quite successful one at that. And I think it's gonna be kind of cool to see how that plays into her gameplay on All Stars. Which is why I put her 5th.
she is a person who's accepted calls into recent seasons like 33, 37, and then they just drop her last minute or make her an alternate, which is, I mean, it stinks because like Sylvia has a lot to bring to the show. I've always said that like I don't mean this as like a burn, but like Sylvia is kind of like the Ringo Starr of the Lavender Ladies. Look, it's like it's difficult because like you're part of a group where it's like, you know, Shane, Amanda, and Ashley are all such gigantic characters that like, dude, Ringo's really good at drumming. Like it's just like he's part of one of the greatest bands ever. Like they're an all-time alliance. But it sucks when you're Ringo sometimes because like people, I mean, Sylvia gets all the Lavender Lady hate that like the Lavender Ladies get, and she doesn't get the praise that Amanda and Ashley do. And I say that as like I'm one of the biggest Amanda fans. Luke is one of the biggest Ashley fans. Nikki's a little bit of both.
I won't go there.
Oh, my bad. I'm just, yeah. But Sylvia is awesome. And she gets to compete without them for like really the first time ever. Because even Vendetta she did with Shane. She gets to be her own person. And I think what Luke said, like her body type isn't the normal like body type what we think is fit or like whatever. But she has really good shoulders that are good for headbanger eliminations. Because we saw her get physical with Melinda on Vendettas. Melissa, not Melinda.
Melissa, yeah.
Oh my God.
Different blonde.
And that's like one of my favorite eliminations ever. Like Sylvia is someone you don't want to see in elimination. Like she just has a lot of heart, a lot of grind. Like I like Sylvia.
Does your enjoyment of that have to do at all with the fact that it's basically just oil wrestling?
Oh, you know.
Oh, I forgot.
You know, a good 48%.
I think
You're
that
not a majority.
Sylvia, when we say that Sylvia doesn't have the like type of like, you know, generic like fit body, it's more like she doesn't have the body type that the media tells us is fit or healthy.
Right. Because Sylvia's fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's fit and she's got grit. Oh, that's what's going to take her.
Yeah. It's part of why she got targeted though early in a couple of her like first seasons where people thought she was weak. Because she didn't have that body type, but she'll prove real fast, like going into this season, like why she's a good competitor. She's also gotten more fit since she stopped doing the challenge, and similar to Jonna, she doesn't really have any weaknesses.
And let's not leave out, she's incredibly close with Wes and Nehemiah.
Yep.
The Kansas City connection.
Yeah. Ooh, love it.
KCC.
Casey Clark. Oh, no, not that.
Oh. We're talking way too much about Casey Clark.
If you say that, Josh shows up like Beetlejuice, so stop.
We gotta stop talking about these people who stink on this show that we actually let.
True.
That we actually like
I like
care
Casey.
Oh, brother. Just kidding.
Next up, we got in 6th, we have Tina Barta. 6th most excited to see. Nikki has her 6th. Luke had her 3rd. I had her 10th. I have to say, Tina stole the show the first few episodes of All Stars 2. Then she quits the show, stating that she didn't like the person she was becoming. It looked like her challenge legacy was over. And now she's back for another season. Love to see it.
I looked shocked when you said that she was 3rd on my list because I guess I forgot I put her there. I'm bummed that she quit last season. I think she felt like she was going to lose the elimination and probably was, but I thought it was lame. So hopefully this season she comes back with a better head on her shoulders, and with Veronica there, I hope she gets catty. Like she was so much like, I'm not that girl. And I think that's great. I love seeing like personal growth, but like be that girl a little bit.
I also love seeing good TV.
Yeah, just for nostalgia.
Yeah, I'm excited to see like her, Veronica, and Jemmye just sit there with like glasses of wine and look like the old men from the Muppets just mocking people.
Statler and Waldorf.
Yeah.
I love those guys. I love Tina, man. Those first few episodes, like when everyone was talking about like how good the show is, I'm like, yeah, but let's talk about how good Tina is. Because I felt like she was just carrying the entertainment on her back. Like Tina, she's fearless and loud at the same time, where she will yell and complain and she'll just go through it with like ease. But she's gonna let you know she's terrified in the moment. But she just goes through it fearlessly. She makes noise wherever she is. She's one of the best to never win. the challenge, but I don't think she has a shot at winning. I think that's why I ranked her low, because she just doesn't like cardio. She didn't back in the day, and the show has become like a lot more physical since. So I think in daily challenges and politics, she's a threat. But in the end, I don't think she's much of a threat.
Yeah, I would agree. But she's going to be entertaining, so I'll go for that.
In the end, I want to be entertained.
I would really like if she just quits the same way again. That would actually kind of be the funniest thing. I'll be if she just makes that her shtick every season. She just like sits in the elimination arena, just like dirt, sand, like angels. Like that would be incredible, because MTV's gonna, like MTV's gonna bring her back again because she's so entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, you have people who are just thirsty for the call. Tina just can just pull up whenever.
Oh, they're dehydrated for a call. I see them on Twitter. Just, who do they think that they're? You know what? I'm not even gonna.
Tina's bathing in calls. They're thirsty for a drop, bro. Next up, we had another tie, but the person we're seventh most excited to see, Cynthia Roberts from The Real World Miami. Nikki had her 10th, Luke had her 7th, I had her 3rd. And part of why I had her ranked that high is I've done, I think, a bit more research. And I was just going through literally like the Twitter history of Cynthia, Real World Miami. And there's just such a large community of people who aren't even challenge fans, like to this day, who think Cynthia is like maybe the greatest like real world character all time. She is hilarious. She's smart, and she has a big personality. And as we've seen with Ayanna on All Stars 2 and Gisela on All Stars 1, it's the person you don't really expect sometimes who will just come in and become a big character immediately. And I think Cynthia has that potential.
That's exactly why I ranked her where I did, because I don't know her. And usually that would make me put them at the bottom of the list. But like I saw people's interactions on Twitter when she was announced. So, I don't have anything to say, but I'm excited for someone new. That's not new, but new.
New to like this fandom.
Yeah.
I just put her low down because I didn't know enough about her to be clapping off opinions.
She had a 3-year-old son when she was on the show like 20 years ago. So now she has like a grown son. So they could do a whole, I don't know, we're getting close to like challenge parents plus kids. That could be a thing down the line. Just saying. But yeah,
let's go Queen Vienna.
I was just staggered when like looking her. I mean, like people really do love Cynthia, and I was just like really amazed when like looking at all the interactions, because like I got into the challenge, mid 2010s, like late 2010s, and I've gone back and watched a lot of old Real Worlds, but I haven't gone back that far. And she's just one of those characters that people really do love and care about, and it's beautiful to see.
It's nice to see the challenge fandom not being so negative about everything,
Yes.
I do think it is kind of bad how like, not bad, but like this cast is a bit younger as a whole, and you have people like Nia and Kayla. I mean, I love to see those people. We rank them all highly, but I feel bad for Cynthia because she doesn't have as many of the OGs like the Katies and stuff like that who she could really like talk to and blend to that are closer to her generation. Could be a gap there. Could see a separation. I don't know. I don't want her targeted because she's like the older woman on the show. That's my fear. But I'm excited to see her.
But the men are older, right?
Well, there's like two extremely, I'm not gonna say extremely, but there's like two older men. I would say like because Cynthia's like I think close to 50 now. On the men's side, you have like Mark and Cyrus, who are
Ancient.
Mark's in his 50s, and I think Cyrus is like close to 50. I think he just had his 50th birthday. But like most of the men are like late 30s, early 40s, and then you have the women who are in their 30s mostly.
I don't feel hopeful for Cynthia though, just because I feel like the people that go on this show are pretty well known within the challenge community, and the people on the show also know who is well known. And to them, Cynthia is not going to hold that much weight. So she'd be an easy person to burn a vote on, because you're not going to have 16,000 people on Twitter messaging you or tweeting at you saying, how dare you put in my favorite? I could be wrong. They could come out of the woodworks, but I'm a little nervous for her.
Kind of love when they do that though. Because it's
I'm
like
right in there. I'm like,
this was filmed like 8 months ago. Like they don't even remember putting this person in.
right. They're best friends now. Yeah.
All right. Next up at 8th, we have Roni Martin, I think from Road Rules Northern Trail. She came on Nikki's list at 11th. She came on Luke's list at 5th, and mine at 4th. Roni is a 2-time challenge champion. She won both her seasons she appeared on. She was a dancer back in the day. She still looks like she's in phenomenal shape. She was into photography back in the day. I mean, just the fact that we have someone who is like undefeated in challenge history, like back on the show, kind of cool.
Exactly why I put her at 5th, because I don't know much about her. Obviously, have not watched her seasons, but 2-time champ, love that. Somebody I don't know, love that. 5th place it is.
Yeah, mine was just the same reasoning for Cynthia.
Which is
didn't do
fair
my
because
homework for the assignment. I understood it, but I didn't do it.
well, I like it though because the average person's not going to do their homework. They're going to turn on Paramount Plus and be like, "Do I remember her? No," and then be like, "Ah." So I get it. I probably would have too had I not seen like the tweets and boredom struck, and I looked this stuff up.
I am a little on just on the note of Cynthia and her age. I am upset that she's like one of the older ones because, it took me a while to like get my mom really into the challenge, and then I got her into All Stars, and she was like, "This is great! I just get to watch a bunch of fellow old people tripping over stuff." And I was like, "Okay, we do that here, but all right." But it's like bringing, and it's like my mom is like telling her friends to start watching, like to watch All Stars, and it's bringing in this like older reality TV community. So sorry, Mom, I just called you old.
No, that's a good thing though, because like I was talking about it with Luke the other day. Like MTV is like a really dying network in that it doesn't appeal to young people who are like under the age of 22, and it doesn't appeal to people who are older anymore. So it's like you only have like a 15-year age like niche to really appeal to nowadays, and it just I don't know how you're gonna get more viewers that way. I really don't. So something like an All Stars like that and putting it on Paramount where it's even more accessible, it's a good thing. And you can see why they're putting so much into it.
For some of you. Accessible for some of you.
Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to be mean to a Canadian. I apologize.
No, I apologize.
Next up at 9th, we have Miss Jemmye Carroll. Nikki ranked her 3rd, Luke ranked her 9th, and I ranked her 12th. I was shocked to rank her 12, honestly, because I think Jemmye has a really good shot coming into this game. From the Real World New Orleans, she did about 7 main seasons. She did All-Star Season 1, made it to the final, was the 4th place female on that season, and she was really in the best shape she's ever been on in a challenge. She was killing the challenges physically, and socially, I mean, she just knew how to work the game. I think Jemmye's going to be I think as long as she doesn't come in last place in a challenge, I think Jemmye's going to the final. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, with the cast, I feel like she's supposed to do well. Lots of these women and men like Jemmye for entertainment purposes or just because they like her. And I ranked her low just because I don't see her winning. I just don't. I feel like she could have had a shot season 1 if she would have been able to eat quicker and get some better partners. I don't know. It all comes down to the final, which we, of course, have no clue what that's like. And she has to make it there, too. So love her confessionals. I'll ride out on that, but she's not high up there for me.
The reason I put her so high up is because when I was ranking people, I wasn't necessarily ranking them on like who I thought would win. Mm-hmm. I was basing mine on like entertainment value, and like Jemmye always brings entertainment. I've never said the name Gianna in any other way than that since that aired. And I know people named Jenna. I know 2 of them. And every time I try to say, I'm like, just Jen. I'll just call you Jen.
I agreed with Luke. Like that was part of why I ranked her 12th, because like I feel confident in her ability to make it to the final, but I don't think she's gonna win. And because I know that for a fact, it's like almost not interesting. I look at this cast, and she's probably Jonna's number 1 girl. She's probably Kayla's number 1 girl. She's probably Veronica's number 1 girl. And from that in itself, she gets Tina because she gets Veronica. Nia doesn't really know many people on this cast, so she's gonna go to Jemmye. She's really good with Darrell. She's really good with Yes. There's a lot of people on here who really like Jemmye, and because of that, like I hilariously, like the worst thing that could happen to her is her getting in power and then maybe upsetting a friend. Like that's legitimately like she has almost too many allies. Like that's maybe the best problem you could have.
It'd be smart for her not to win dailies.
Yeah. That's part of a social game though.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And she's
It's
good at that. Like me saying that I don't think she can win a final. Jemmye should be studied years down the line. How this girl, listen, this is gonna sound horrible, but this girl with kind of a grating voice and like, talks pretty badly about people behind their backs and even to their faces, can still like, have these solid relationships and people understand and know that it's part of her and she doesn't mean malice by it. Like she's got such an interesting social game. Her voice is grating. I'm sorry, Nikki.
Was that Southern versus Southern? Like, is that like a thing? Like, I hate the Quebecois accent. Is that?
Maybe so. Maybe this is self-hate. I don't know.
Well, no, Luke is Southern. She's deep Southern. I'm Spanish. I don't like the Castilian Spanish that they speak in Spain. So.
Well, that was my question though.
It sounds like hate. I don't know because I love Jemmye.
Because
well, okay, fine then. It's hate, but like I think people should like it's so interesting how she has this persona that typically people would not like, and some people don't fan wise, but like on the show, people typically like and gravitate towards Jemmye.
Yeah, I wasn't saying it's hate. Like, I don't know. That feels like a strong word.
She's really strong at playing for herself, and like I think that's the thing. A lot of other people need to like learn how to do more. There was like a moment on Vendettas where she disliked Johnny Bananas, and she could choose to save him or Joss to go into elimination, and she saved Johnny Bananas because she realized, like, you know what, he's not going to affect my game in any way. He's going to stay out of my way. So she angered, Devin and Shane and all these people, and she's like, well, they're going to have the votes. They're going to keep me safe as long as they don't rock the boat. And then the only reason she got taken out of that season was because she lost a purge. She like,
purges.
Yeah, I mean, she hasn't been voted into elimination like only like maybe twice in her challenge career, which is like crazy to think about. So yeah, as long as she doesn't come in last place, which is something she's done a decent amount, she should go to the final.
Like a decent amount, like she's not come in last place.
No, like she's been purged multiple times. She's come in last place in like multiple seasons that sent her into elimination. So, her daily challenge history isn't great. So really the goal is don't come in last place. Just don't do that.
Should always be the goal. I don't understand. Like what made me so mad about the last season, the main one, I'm not even going to go through that whole title because I'll need to drink some water after, was that it seemed like people weren't playing for money. They were just like, no, I have to be like true to my friends. Like that's my friend. I have to help them. My friends want me to win $1 million.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
that's not
Jemmye has the right mindset. Yeah.
Next up, the person we're 10th most excited to see on the female side, it is Miss Kellyanne Judd from the Real World Sydney. And I'm going to call her a champion as well because she would tied for Jonna in first place among females on All Stars 1. Nikki had her ranked 8th. Luke had her ranked 11th. I had her ranked 5th.
I feel like typically I would have ranked her higher, but I don't know what I was doing when I made this ranking. So sorry. I like Kellyanne as a competitor. She's still cracked, but not in the cracked that she was on the main show when she appeared. But she's also just like not here for the BS. Like, I know I'm a good competitor. I'm going to do yoga all day with Kendall. I'm going to give weird looks at people and I'm going to talk behind their back, but I'm here to play this game and I can do it well. And she knows that. So I like that. So I'm questioning why I put her 11th because I am excited to see her. Because honestly, when I looked at this cast, Kellyanne might be the strongest woman because she gave a killer final performance on season 1. I mean, she did finish. She tied with Jonna, but she finished before Jonna had finished. And Kellyanne's still in great shape. I saw a picture the other day of her back, and her back muscles are just like killer. So 11th, I don't know what I was doing. Sorry.
I loved that like last All-Star season. Like Kellyanne is still very young, but for some reason she was like dressing like a recent divorcee, where she's like, it was just like I didn't understand it. I was like, you're such a fun, lively person. Why like there was just a weird cognitive dissonance between her confessionals, who she is as a person, who she is as a competitor. I love Kellyanne. I think she's one of my favorite reality TV characters ever.
She's younger than most of the people on the main show.
Yeah, I think she's the same age as Sylvia. Uh, I love Kellyanne. She is cracked, and like literally since day one of her challenge career, she's been not like she's not a good competitor. She's a great player. Like Evelyn always had the highest regard for her, and like Evelyn is like the goat of the challenge. So if she thinks that like Kellyanne is good, I mean she's really damn good. She had metal poisoning for 2 years before Challenge All Stars 1 that like had her on bed rest before she did the season, and now she's like better and healed up, and now she's trained. So you have to think she's a big threat because she's good with puzzles, she's good with cardio, she's good at like she has good balance. Her one issue is that she weighs like 100 pounds, and like if people was like if you throw her into a size-based elimination, someone could sit on her.
Not quite sure what that elimination is, but
I get it though. Like if it's like pole wrestle, like, well, let me stop.
Balls in, pole wrestle, balls in, hall brawl, anything like that, like the backpack type elimination. Like she could lose to an
Put
inferior
Sylvia up against Kellyanne in a backpack elimination, and it's over.
I mean, on Rivals 3, they had that blindfolded soccer elimination where she faced Nani, and she's like, "Oh, Nani's just treating me like a little kid. She's just hurling me around." We saw what happened in that scenario. That's really her only weakness, but she's really good in daily challenges. She's just across the board strong, and she has good relationships with Nehemiah, her ex Wes, and all the guys will see her as someone they want to run the final with, which is a big advantage for her. Interesting detail is that she had a little tryst with Brad a few like 4 years ago. I don't know if people remember this, but they called it out on the Brain Candy podcast because apparently Brad and Kellyanne had a virtual like relationship where they were calling each other soulmates or something. And then it was a big deal on Twitter. Susie, Sarah, Tori, Brad, and Kellyanne were all getting into it, and they were going to go on vendettas and have a honeymoon type thing. You guys are shocked. This is the thing that happened. I was at school.
Shook it.
Yeah, I was at my college library, and I got there early to do homework. I didn't do any homework. I was just there for hours, just like watching all the Twitter drama. And then Kellyanne was an alternate on Vendettas, and then Brad hooked up with Brittany Thornton 9-1, and life just moved on from that moment completely.
We, as a fandom, lost that day. Because I did not know this. Would have loved to have known that. Would have loved for Brittany to still have been on, him still hook up with her night one, and then Kellyanne and Brittany just fight. So move her up my list, okay?
I don't want Brittany to get more
If she
screen
gives
time.
Brad his crazy eyes right back at him, I'm staining. Well, no, I'm not, but I'll consider it.
It's really interesting too, because like Brad is not on good terms with Kendall, because Kendall's best friends with Tori, and Kellyanne and Kendall are best friends. Or everyone could have multiple best friends. Everyone can have multiple pretty best friends. That's a thing.
I sure do.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting to all throw in there.
It's okay.
Why do we got her
my dinner later? I didn't know this.
I didn't either. I was just like, oh, okay. Kellyanne's coming back.
What a weird taste in men. The Lucky Charms guy. Someone whose eyes are popping out of their head. What?
Dario, very handsome man, very good guy.
Yeah.
But boring.
Oh, okay. Well, all right.
Dario,
boring.
King of the Challenge?
Yeah, I mean, like, I loved
Or Raffi, King of the Challenge?
I like how we keep getting sidetracked on people who are infinitely more boring than our actual cast.
Sorry.
No, I love it. Next up at 11th, We have Miss Kendall Darnell, Kendall Shepard from Road Rules Campus Crawl, one-time champion. She's been on both All-Star seasons. Really stole the show on All-Stars 1, where she won the mini-finals. She won a bunch of eliminations, proved herself physically as a competitor. All-Stars 2 is coasting right on by, then a positive COVID test where they tried to tell us it was a rib injury, takes her out of the game. Yeah, we have her ranked 11th. Nikki had her at 9th, Luke had her at 12th, I had her at 9th. And I think what it comes down to is we know Kendall's a beast. We would like to see her win. We would like to see her do well. But we've seen her 3 seasons now. And, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. And I feel bad saying this now that like we've recently found out she's had like recent health complications. But like the reason I ranked her last is because I really like Kendall. I think she is great. People that have met her at Challenge Mania events, I feel like you have, Allan,
Yeah.
like have said that she's phenomenal. Like she is the best. Like she just is good energy, which I believe. But on the show, it just seems like she's so anxious and like everything just really gets to her at her core, which there's nothing wrong with that. But it makes me uncomfortable as a viewer to see that because like I want to just reach out and be like, Kendall, say something, do something, like get out of your head. But I also think that like it's kind of cool to see that on TV because that's real life. But I've seen it the past 2 seasons, and I'm not quite sure she's going to bring something different to season 3. However, I am glad she's getting redemption from last season where the COVID test took her out because she could have won last season.
But that's also why I ranked her where she is. It's like the thing that I'm annoyed at with the main season is like the oversaturation of the same people. Like it's not a scripted series. I don't need to keep seeing the same characters all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope she gets some sort of redemption arc.
Yeah. And like to that point, I go back and forth about like the same characters. That is part of the challenge. But like 3 in a row, especially on a spinoff where this is like, let's just consider it its own show. 3 in a row is pretty intense. That's why I ranked John A lower than I kind of wanted to, just because I get it. I know your story. I'm not sure what new is going to be brought to the table. And I could be wrong. Hope I am. But yeah, I so agree.
Exactly. And we would all love to see her win because she's had really impressive performances and she's gone out in really weird ways. Like, I just want to see her, like, if anything, I just want to see her lose in a normal way. I just want closure on like on Kendall's season because I don't think we've gotten that just yet. I want to see her compete in a final or just like lose straight up. Yeah, I love her though. Like as Luke said, like I met her at Challenge Mania, and one of the funniest things is like someone took a photo, like posted a photo they took with me at the event, and Kendall commented under that like, "Oh my God, you had a photo with Allan Aguirre?" It's like
that's your last name.
It's like it's Aguirre.
Okay, gotcha.
But I'm not even gonna say.
I thought it was
yeah, exactly. So you can call me
that's what
Allan
I've
Aguirre.
been saying.
Yeah, you can call me Allan Aguirre. So but yeah, that's what she commented. That's also how I imagine like what white people just call me as well, like but like she posted that.
Allan here.
Yeah, she posted that, and I was like, oh my God, my heart's so warmed by like just like her commenting that was almost more special than actually having a photo with her.
Yeah, I think she's so kind. Yeah.
I love little fandom moments like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had Arissa Cox from Big Brother Canada like reply to one of my tweets because we follow each other, and it was like the most like Canadian thing. There's like a streetcar. Like I won't like babble on too much about it, but there's like a streetcar that goes really slow in Toronto, and I was just like, oh, it like only brings me rage to be on here. And she was like, yep, that's for sure. And I was like, not Arissa Cox.
I love that. 12th, which I'm sorry to the person who came in 12th because I genuinely love this person. It is Miss Melinda Collins, Miss Melinda Stolp from The Real World Austin, second place finisher of All Stars 2. Nikki had her 12th, Luke had her 10th, I had her 11th. I don't know how this happened. I think Melinda, like when it comes to like a pure personality, is one of the most likable people in reality TV history. She's gorgeous, she's fun, she's charismatic, and last season she showed so much heart. It was so awesome to see because like she had been historically one of the worst competitors in challenge history, and then came out of nowhere like last season. Like I couldn't believe it.
I think I know why I put her so low because I have the same thought. I really enjoyed her last season. Like Zoe hates Melinda, but last season she's like, I love Melinda. She's so badass. But I think putting her in the mix with all these other women who just have huge personalities who we're more excited to see, Melinda just can't jump over that. Now, if she's the same way she was last season, like she'll be right up there. And we can't forget she's there with Wes, Nehemiah, which brings in Sylvia and others. So she could probably coast a little bit too. But as far as like excitement,
She's fun though. She's hella like she's just incredibly fun. Like I think she's just so likable and she vibes so well and she has that accent that's just like so adorable. Yeah.
She's
I love
beautiful.
I love her so much. Like
this
my God,
entire female cast list is beautiful.
yes.
she'd never been to a final. She sprains her ankle, gets lost, and they still win part one. That was like 95% of the final. Like she and Nehemiah got robbed last season. And like I don't know if she could follow that up. And I think that's part of why I ranked her low. It was almost like last season was so perfect. And also it just cements the fact that Danny Jamieson is like probably the worst challenger ever. Looking at how well she did. It's like, dude, she was like the all-time gem of like the century, and you just dragged her down like crazy. She is amazing.
Love her, even though she's 12.
But I mean, yeah, this is the person we ranked 12th. We're most excited to see, and we're glowing for them.
Yes, I was just about to say that. That is a good cast. Like the person, we're still excited to see her. So I'm happy.
There was no one on this list where, like, I knew that if I didn't like someone on the list, I was just gonna like when Allan was like, "Yeah, rank them." I was like, "I'm not ranking this person because I'm just not excited at all." I'm genuinely really excited about this cast. Like when it was announced, I was like, "Oh hell yeah!"
Mm-hmm.
So to wrap it back in order, we had Nia first, Kayla second, Veronica third, Jonna fourth, Sylvia fifth, Tina sixth, Cynthia seventh, Roni eighth, Jemmye ninth, Kellyanne 10th, Kendall 11th, and Melinda 12th. Statcast top to bottom. Please stay tuned as we're about to go into part 2 where we're going to break down the male cast. Hoo boy.
I'm gonna have some opinions.